Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about activism and capacity, especially with a mental illness. So I'm sure you've all been seeing the ethnic cleansing, the bombardment of Gaza and Palestine, and I have been so horrified and disturbed and angered by what I've been seeing, the ongoing genocide, that I feel that it is my duty as a human being to act and to stand up for justice and to stand up for Palestinian liberation. So since October 7th, there has been ongoing massacres and genocide in Gaza, and it's so important for me, even though my platform is really small, to talk about this, and especially my own personal experiences with mental health has made it even more important for me to talk about this. When I first heard the news about what was happening in Gaza, my first thought was, what about the people with mental illnesses? And for me, I was thinking, and I still think about all the people who no longer have access to mental health care and to their life-saving medicines. And I know for myself that going without my bipolar medication is a terrible, terrible experience. And more so than that, the trauma that they're facing is obviously going to cause so many mental health problems and is causing mental illness because of what they're enduring day after day. So I wanted to take you along with me in this video as I attempt to navigate activism while also managing my mental health and my physical health so that I can continue to put in the work long term. And so I hope this video inspires you to take action and inspires you to get involved in the ways that are best suited for you and in the ways you feel can make the most impact. Hi everyone. So I just wanted to update you. Over the past week, I had reading week, and so I thought it would be the perfect time for me to get active and go to any protests that were happening in my area because I didn't have classes and I felt like I had a lot of free time that I could go and support through protests and direct actions. So I went to one big protest, which was an all-out protest, and it was amazing. There were lots of people there, and we also had a sit-in as well. And it was a very long day, from like 2 o'clock in the afternoon until like 10 o'clock at night. And so that was very tiring and very exhausting for me because as I'm recovering from my bipolar disorder, it's hard for me to, one, stay out for the whole day. I get very drained very easily, and two, to stay up late. Sleep is really important for regulating my mood. So even though I don't regret going at all, and it was an amazing turnout, and I'm so glad that I went, it was very taxing for me, and I think it's important that I acknowledge that so that I can be more conscious about where I put my energy in the future. After that, a couple of days later, I went to another protest.
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Woo!
And that also lasted a couple of hours, and it was very early in the morning that I had to get up, so that also really disrupted my sleep. And I thought that was a great protest as well. We were able to do such a good job shutting down an arms manufacturer, and so I'm really glad that I went. But after that, I got really sick. I was in bed for probably a week, vomiting constantly, and that usually happens to me when I get very overwhelmed or overworked. And so I think while I was at these protests, I was also very nervous about the schoolwork that I had to get done, and that was causing additional stress for me, plus the exertion of being out all day. And so that is just kind of a reminder to myself to pace myself, because I want to be able to do this long term, and this is a long-term struggle. We're not going to stop until Palestinians are free and have their land back. So I want to make sure that I am monitoring my health, monitoring my mood, so that I don't get sick and I don't have to stop. I find that after a protest, I feel really like revved up, and it's hard for me to sleep or calm down. You just feel so full of energy and so full of adrenaline. So I like to do that yoga pose where you like put your feet up on the wall, and I feel like that's really good, especially if you've been standing the whole day. It's really good to do that pose for like 5 minutes, and it'll really help calm you down and help if your legs are kind of sore from standing the whole day. So if protesting is not accessible to you, one thing that you could do that has a huge impact and does not require any sort of exertion is to participate in BDS, or boycott, divestment, and sanctions. So that can look like calling on the institutions that you are involved with to divest from Israel's apartheid. You can also participate in the ongoing boycotts against Starbucks, McDonald's, and Disney Plus, and Scotiabank, and so many more. So I myself used to go to Starbucks all the time when I went downtown for school, and now I never go, and I have no inclination to go because I saw a post online about how every time the Starbucks barista writes your name on the cup, think about those children in Gaza who have written their names on their arms so that their bodies can be identified if they are bombed and dismembered or disfigured in the rubble. And that to me is so upsetting and so horrific to think about that I just am done with Starbucks forever. So definitely boycotting is a very important tool to support Palestine. And yeah, it requires no effort. In fact, you save money. Even though I'm making this video to show that you can still do things with a mental illness, it would be misleading of me to not say how I really feel, which is that I'm so frustrated by how my mental illness impacts me. And it has gotten so much better than when I was first diagnosed, but I still don't feel as capable as other people in my life who don't struggle with bipolar disorder. And it just bothers me so much when I see everybody doing all these amazing things, postering, banner drops, direct actions, protests, getting involved in so many ways and doing so much, and I feel like what I'm doing is so little in comparison, and I just feel very left out and very upset about my own limitations. And I feel like that's something that is not unique to having a mental illness. I feel that in so many areas of my life, in terms of my capacity to do school, my capacity to work, just every single day I feel like my mental illness affects me, and I am really at the point of exhaustion with it. So I don't want to be entirely demoralizing. I still think it's important to do what I can and that every action counts. But yeah, I just see so many people doing so much more than me, and it's hard not to feel inadequate and like I'm not doing enough. And I really feel like I'm not doing enough. Like I want to be able to do so much more, but I just can't because of my mental health. Hi everyone, today we are getting ready to go to Ottawa for a massive protest for Palestine, and I'm really excited. I spent the whole week resting and preparing so that I could go today and so that I had the energy and the stamina to go. So I'm really excited that my whole family is going, and I'll try to film a bit while I'm there, and hopefully there's an amazing turnout.
We, the people, have carried the liberation struggle
Hi everyone. We got back from Ottawa a few days ago and the protest was amazing. There were so many people that showed up and it was great to march in front of the Parliament building, and it was a long drive but really worth it, and I'm glad that I got to attend. And I had been avoiding doing too many strenuous activities in the week leading up to that day because I really wanted to be in attendance for this monumental protest. So we got back a few days ago, and the day before that, on Friday, I attended a vicar circle at my mosque where we basically just remembered God and made lots of dua or prayers for the people in Palestine. And that was really great because it was very low-key, it was very low energy, it was really healing.
الله لطيف بعباده يرزق من يشاء وهو القوي العزيز والله يرزق يا أرحم الراحمين by the secret and the nur and the blessings and the power of your name اللطيف يا لطيف يا رب العالمين to save us يا أرحم الراحمين and to protect us and to hide us يا أرحم الراحمين in the nur and in the secrets and the protection of your name اللطيف يا رب العالمين اللهم اخفنا في خفايا لطفك الخفي.
حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل.
Unfortunately, after the Ottawa trip, I have been feeling really exhausted and really overexerted again. I have in the past been able to do full days of activities. In the summer, I went to like Niagara Falls for a full day and I felt fine. But when I came back from Ottawa, I just felt really sick and I felt like I was going to start getting sick again and vomiting again because I had been experiencing this cycle of getting stressed out, being overexerted, and then getting really sick. And so I felt myself getting really sick, and so for the past few days I've really done nothing. I've just been in bed, just like watching YouTube videos, not really doing much work. I also didn't even go to class today because I really felt like if I did one more thing, if I left the house for the full day, I would actually end up getting sick, and I don't want to get sick for a full week because it's the end of the year. I have essays to write, I have assignments that are due, and so I've really been trying to take it easy. But I guess this is just a reminder to myself about my capacity again and the fact that I'm not able to handle as much as I want to be able to handle. And while I find that really frustrating, I did talk to my therapist about it, and she reminded me of something that I'd never thought of before, which is that I actually don't know the capacity of the people around me. I'm assuming that they're able to do all these things, and then I'm comparing myself to that assumption, but in reality, I don't know what the people around me are struggling with, how they're showing up, when they're showing up. I just assume that they're able to do everything all the time, and then I feel bad because I'm not able to do everything all the time. And that is really the core of the frustration that I'm feeling. And I think that when she pointed out to me that I don't know other people's capacity, it allowed me to kind of reassess why I'm trying so hard to do things that are making me sick. And I guess I've kind of come to the conclusion that when I'm sick, I'm entirely out of action. If I'm having a bipolar episode, if I'm in bed because I'm really nauseous, then I can't do anything. I'm not helping anyone. I'm not doing any of the actions that I feel like are important. So it's really necessary for me to safeguard my health and to be mindful about what I can do and to make sure that I am keeping myself as healthy as possible so that I can do the actions that are available to me, even if they're more limited than I would have wanted them to be. So that's where I am right now. I kind of have realized that full day protests might not be for me right now because of my health. And I'm also realizing that I can do things that are less strenuous, like when I went to the prayer circle at my mosque. That was really great. It actually energized me because it was so low energy and relaxing and soothing. So I want to continue to do more of that. I want to make sure that my health is okay, and I want to be able to do these things long term, and I have to still figure out what that looks like for me and what I'm able to do. So that's where I am right now, and I'll talk to you again soon.